Hello, this is Mr. Kent of MrKent.com, and I love flying. I've flown. I had two different airplanes. I flew for about 15 years. I love flying, and so the DJI goggles give you the same sensation as if you're up in the air, and that's what this video is about. When I first got my goggles, before they got there, I watched every video I could find, and I got a little bit from this, little bit from this video, and a little bit from that video, and so the purpose of this video is to try my best to cover everything that I needed to know in one video. Now it's going to be broken up into several different parts. We're going to talk about, and we're going to look at part of the video where we download the DJI Assistant. One of the other things I would recommend is get some tape of some kind. This is Gorilla tape, and tape the corner and the edges of your box, because you're going to be going back and forth to the park, and as you look closer you can see that the parts that aren't taped are already beginning to show wear and tear. We're going to look at we're going to download the firmware and show you how to do that. We're going to show you how to tap and how not to tap and so forth. Oh, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Let me see what else I got here. Oh yeah, setting up your goggles, making sure you don't get the Chinese language like I did. And we'll look at head tracking and all that stuff. So let me go ahead and get this open right now and show you some things to begin with, and then we'll move on to some other parts here. When everybody complains about how big these are and how they're heavy on your head and stuff, most of those people, believe it or not, they're jealous. Most of those people, they haven't tried it or gotten used to it. Now I have some videos for how to counterbalance these things. Like for instance, my wife has long hair, and so when she puts these on, they want to slide because her hair slides. So I came up with a solution for that, and I've got that in a video. But here they are, and what we do is we open them up this way and then stick them on our head. And I don't know if you noticed, and I hope you can still see me. I don't know if you noticed, but I use my left hand for doing this because this is where the touchpad is. And when it turned on, if you accidentally touch that, you might get into the Chinese language. You never know. So anyway, but what you want to do is, I'll just show you right now, is you get this thing and you put your thumb under here. All right. Now underneath of your thumb, there's a exit button. And you push that, and it'll take you out of the part of the menu you don't want to be in. And then this is just the touchpad. And if you put your thumb there, you know, some people go like, but put your thumb there and find it, and it makes it real easy. And going this way and this way slides you back and forth, right to left, and going like this, moves you up and down through the menus, and then double up and down. Get you into head tracking. Double frontwards and backwards locks the screen. Like for instance, if you want to take them off and loan them to a buddy to let him try looking through them while you fly, you lock the screen, because as soon as he grabs it, he's going to start touching the part you're not supposed to touch. So anyway, we're going to talk about some things like that, and a lot of other things. They're going to be broken up into different videos, and my purpose here is to make it so you just have to watch one video to get all the information that you need. It's taken me a little while so far to get this far with it, but I've got a whole list of things that we're going to cover, and I'm trying to think if I have forgotten anything at this point yet. But I think we'll just move on to looking at what's in the box and how to get started. All right, let's get started. Your box is going to come, there's going to be a white box around this if you haven't already gotten it, and you may have already gotten it. Now you're just looking at videos. But anyway, let's open it up. And like I said, put some tape on it if you can find some tape that'll work, and protect those edges, because it's going to make a lot of trips to the park. All right, so this is the goggles, and this is the exit button that you would hit to get out of a menu. this is a function button, and I can't remember. It seems like it did one thing that wasn't any use to me. But anyway, this is the button you'll use to back out of a menu. And then of course this changes the what they call it, the occupied blah blah blah, something like that. How far your eyes are apart. If you're narrow-minded, they'll be like this. If you're broad-minded, they'll be like that. You notice how mine are. Anyway, I don't know if I had that in front of it. There, see how that works? Okay, that's that part. I think I might have had it held back too far. All right, so then we take this out. That's where the goggles sit. And we get down into here, and now you'll notice I have a whole bunch of garbage. I have a whole bunch of stuff. This is a short cable that goes from the phone to the controller, and so I carry that in there. Also, because I wear trifocals, I have to either use reading glasses, which I got at Walmart for $5, or I also bought myself a pair of these corrective lenses. And the only problem with the corrective lenses is if you let somebody else look through your goggles, it doesn't work for them. So I let too many people use my goggles, so I just leave it. I just wear these. But anyway, I hang my regular glasses around my neck because I find that I, in between things, have to put them back on and take these off. And then so there's that and that, and then they come with polishing cloth, and then down below that is this guy, which I got off of Amazon for 20 bucks. And what he does is he clamp into the controller, the standard DJI controllers. This clamps into it, and then you put your phone in here, and it's kind of like a sunshade, and that's about 20 bucks. I'll put a link to it where I found it on Amazon, if I can just remember all this, okay? So that's in there, and then the part that goes over your head. Now you can't pull it apart. You have to turn it like that, but you can push it together. Okay. Now one thing, I let people borrow or use this and put it on their head, and you might be able to see I've got a little bit of notch there. But I don't want to blame the people. I want to blame all the junk that I carry in there for banging around on it. But anyway, so the goggles snap together like that, okay? And the first thing you're going to want to do is download the firmware, and I've got a video on that. That'll be coming up in a minute. And then, well, first of all, you need to download the DJI Assistant 2, and you'll see that in the video coming up. And then get everything, and you're ready to go, except I forgot to mention, what you want to do is plug the cable that comes with this, plug it in to the USB port, and go to your laptop or your desktop, or just a wall plug-in, and get these charged up. Now, if you've got 2 or 3 of these already blinking when you get it, like you do that. See, like mine got 3. That's plenty. If you've got 2, that's plenty for getting it set up. But if you only got 1 down here, be sure you put it in, plug it in. These charge really, really slow, like overnight. So it's going to take a long time to get them charged up. And of course, I know that you want to just charge this thing up before you ever use it. And neither did I. Anyway, okay, so that's kind of like the unboxing. That's what comes in the box. And I can't think of anything right now that I need to add. So let's move on. All right, if you're going to download the DJI Assistant 2, you go to Google and just type in DJI Downloads, I think. DJI Downloads. See, I've done it before. And we'll come down here to the Download Center. And I always like to go to DJI first rather than just Googling something. And I'm not a student. I failed school, so we'll get out of there. And we'll come down here, and there's one that's compatible with Mavic Air, Mavic Pro, DJI goggles, and more. So that's probably the one that we're looking for, because we're going to be installing DJI goggles. So let's go ahead and click on that. And we want the Windows version for my computer. And we'll download it. And we're going to download it to my download folder on disk D. And looks like I got it. Now down here at the bottom, I can just double click on, or just click on that, I think. And that's going to install. And we've got to go through all the things. Yep, I agree. I have to agree. You're twisting my arm here. And we want a desktop shortcut. And we'll install. Okay, it looks like I can finish. And I'll go to my desktop. Whoa, there it is already. And it's got me, DJI knows me pretty well, because I spend so much money there. So anyway, now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to plug in your goggles. Now, if they haven't arrived yet, this is good that you did this beforehand. But you can't do anything with it until you get your goggles. And so we'll come back to that. You'll plug in your goggles and you'll go through the setup and updating. Make sure you got the latest firmware. So that would be maybe our next step. All right, I've got the DJI goggles turned on and plugged into the USB port from the goggles to the desktop computer. You got to download the DJI Assistant to either a desktop or a laptop. Forgot to mention that. Anyway, so it's all hooked up, and so now we're going to open up DJI Assistant, and my computer's got a lot of tight controls, and so we open it up, and I'm going to maximize this, and it immediately recognizes the DJI goggles. Okay, so we're going to click on that, and it takes us to the latest version. I have the latest version, but there's an upgrade. Okay, now a lot of times people don't like to do upgrades because it puts limitations on, but in this case there's no limitations. It's just going to make them better. So we'll click on upgrade, and we'll start the upgrade, and we'll see how long this takes. All right, the goggles have been updated and rebooted, and that didn't take too long. By the way, just FYI, if you have some issues and you need to call or contact tech support, be sure that you run DJI Assistant 2 first. Make sure that you've got everything up to date before you call them and bother them, because otherwise they're going to tell you go back and do that. So anyway, we've got that all done. Now we can click on back, and we're pretty much, I think, finished. And so it says upgrade, but we've got the latest version. So everything is good, and that's how we go about getting them upgraded and updated and everything. The next step is to set up the goggles. So we'll go there next. And what we're going to do is we're going to link the goggles to the drone. All right, so we've got to move up to get out of that bottom dot. So we'll go up one, then we'll hit Tools. We'll go into Settings, and we'll come down to Linking and tap. Then we'll go down to the Mavic 2, tap, confirm, confirm again. Now we've got 60 seconds to push the little button, and it's complete. So we've got that all done, and now we can just exit out of these menus, I think. Oh no, they want us to do the mode thing. So we'll come down to HD mode, save settings, confirm, get out of all the menus, and we're linked. And so we can see the picture through the goggles. Everything is good. So that's how we go about linking. Okay, let's take a look at some of the menu options. First of all, down at the bottom, we're focused on the camera, and you can go in there and you can do your camera settings with the goggles, but I like to do it on using the app, so the Go For app. So anyway, that's a possibility there if you want to do that. And we go to the next one, and that's yellow, and I don't know what the yellow is because we just did this update. And the update, we'll have to find out what that does. So I'm sorry, that wasn't there before. And then we go through, and that's take snapshots, just pictures, and then back to the camera settings. And let's see, we go through. All right, now then, let's go up to the toolbox, and we'll go in there, take a look quickly at some of these things. Settings, we've already looked at settings, but we'll go there. And as I said earlier, you can actually go down, going the wrong direction with my fingers. And anyway, you can go all the way down, and like I said, the language, if it doesn't come up in English, well then you can go there and change it. And I had that problem, so we'll just get out of that menu. Okay. Now then, as we go across here, if you push that button, it'll take off. Or all you gotta do is tap the touch screen. It'll take off. We don't need a HDMI connection with my drone. Playback, if you have some things saved on the SD card, you can look at those. And I'm trying to get my fingers to work on this. And then we already looked at the HD mode and know how to work through that. So I don't know how come I got in there, but I got in there. Okay. So let's go back out of here. Now, if I sweep with 2 fingers, down with 2 fingers, that takes me to the head tracking, and I don't use full screen mode because I like to watch everything that's going on. And so let's see, we got to go this way, and head tracking that turns the whole drone, and then the next one is head tracking that only turns the gimbal. And then to get out of head tracking, now if I go to if I want to get out of head tracking, I go there. Now when you get in, you just need to move over to that and then move back and tap head tracking, and head tracking will go away. All right, so that's head tracking. And then I can't think of anything else that we need to talk about. I think I've covered everything that's basic. Let's just move on to the next step. Well, I hope this video was helpful, and I want to thank you for watching, and God bless.